Bonsoir. My name is Rinus from Alebeek, and this is my left hand. This is not the hand that you will see later on in this video, because that will belong to Adrian Shephard, who in a diagram will explain a little bit more of our plan. You're a little bit like this. Over there is the Bay of Joyataro, and this is the place a little bit where I live at the moment. Our plan is inspired by the motions of the particles in the collider in CERN, where one particle goes one way and the other particle goes the other way, and then they collide. We thought, what would happen if you sent one sound one way and one sound the other way, and what would you get if they collide? And then we started to elaborate a little bit on this idea, and we thought, what if two programs would collide, but then they would come each from a different direction? Well, where could they come from? So one program that we have is moving in the time as we are moving in the time, and it goes by second and second and second and second, and goes onwards and onwards and onwards until it's finished. But at the same time, to have the equivalent of the particle that comes from the other way, we thought of a program that was coming from the future, going backwards, and then would meet the program which was coming from this point, our point in time. Is this clear? Not yet. It's not clear very much. Let's think about an alarm clock. If you want an alarm clock to ring, you have to set it in a certain time in the future, and then when eventually the clock arrives at that time, the alarm clock will start ringing. The same point we thought from, it would be possible technically, maybe in a digital world, to program ahead and see that you can make the thing that is programmed ahead in time move backwards to the now. And at the same time, there's in this now another program approaching, which will at a certain point in time meet the program from which is programmed in the future. So this might be a very difficult thing for all the digital people to achieve, as a matter of fact, existing in the digital world. But let's go to Adrian now, and he will explain everything in this diagram.
So this is the plan that we have to go to CERN, and Rinus asked me to just draw a kind of diagram of how it works. So as we were speaking about earlier, if our radio program, imagine our radio program is like this somehow, and that's broadcasting like that in this kind of general direction. This is time, by the way, so time which is kind of going in that general direction. That's how we understand it at the moment, and then in the future somehow, this is time now in this particular moment, but in the future there's this other program here that's racing towards our program that we have here, that we've organized, and that program, maybe two programs, are all coming towards this kind of moment in time here, and that's how we see it. But we have no idea what is actually going on from that sort of space onwards. So of course this is moving moving now in this general direction and always moving, as because we know that time is always changing. This is time, not human time as we know it, but actual time itself. You know, so the not the kind of human time that I know inside my head, but actually time itself. So and the thing is, we kind of surmised somehow that these programs, let's call it P1 and P2, are coming towards our transmission T1, and then when they kind of hit this spot, then they kind of collide together. So there's this kind of collision in time and space, and then we assume that as we've no idea what is beyond this kind of wall here, that everything starts disintegrating, or new programs start appearing from places that we've no idea where they came from in the first place. And maybe there's a kind of animal from the future, a cat, which we were talking about before when we were thinking about these ideas. So it's possible that a cat might actually be there in the future, racing towards, in a kind of, I mean, this is a kind of metaphorical cat, coming towards this kind of center of time and space. So time here, as I repeat again, and space itself, space here. Well, the space is kind of all around in this area of collision, this kind of collision area. So, well, what we see is a kind of spiraling, or we think we might see, is a possible spiraling of these two programs, these two events that are, one comes from the future, one is coming from the now, the present, that's already been set up, but somehow there's already something from the future that's coming towards us. Yeah, so that's kind of how we see it. But we've no idea what is actually going to come out of this spot. It might come from somewhere else. We've no idea, from another place entirely, and produce programs which we've no idea may exist. And that's what we're going to apply to the CERN laboratory for this application. That is our application. So that's our application. So thank you very much for watching this, and wish us good luck.
Right. There's of course one little thing more to this. Maybe it's not possible at all to create such a thing in digital space. But we have an idea. And the idea also comes very close to this giant problem of matter and antimatter. I don't know what antimatter is. And I never heard somebody talking about anti-time, or maybe anti-space, and it's so obvious that if there's antimatter, one should also talk about anti-time and anti-space, because we are here in the now, this ensemble of space, time and matter. Now, if we have the principal idea of two entities moving, in CERN it will be particles, in our idea it will be the radio program. But if we think of what we are living in, and about what could have caused our world, our universe to be as it is the idea of our continuity of space, time and matter that is being pushed forward from history, and this glorious now that's all around us isn't the result of a collision of space, time and matter with anti-space, anti-time and anti-matter, and where it comes together, all life forms go in all directions. We are very curious to find out what will happen if the world of Radio On collides with the world of CERN. Let's see.